Hello and welcome to the canceled FNaF figures tier list, hosted by me, Theft King. So for those of you unfamiliar with tier lists, we're going to be going through a bunch of famously canceled people in the FNaF community. Fangame developers, YouTubers, Scott himself, obviously. A lot of people have been canceled in the FNaF community. So we're going to sort all of these people into categories based on how warranted I thought their cancellation was. At the lowest tier, we have they did nothing wrong. That means that their cancellation was totally undeserved and just completely overblown. Canceled but overblown is they deserved it, but it wasn't that big a deal. Like, they did something wrong, but it wasn't at the tier of some of the things we're going to see on this list. Canceled but can recover with time. So that's your sort of mid-tier category where it was like, yeah, a pretty bad cancellation, but, you know, people deserve to be forgiven, and over time, this person could be forgiven. Canceled hard, but not forever. That's, you know, you're canceled really hard, but it's not like, you know, it's not like you could never, ever, ever come back to the community or anything like that. It's not like, you know, you committed some sort of horrific crime or something, although that's just my own definition. So finally, forever canceled. And that's for if you do something truly heinous where it's like you probably shouldn't even come back to the community. So to start, we have Ultranite, Mechless, and Ramanov. These are the three major members of the pair. Ultranite, known for Chompers, Ramanov, known for Juniors, and Mechless, known for Project Readjusted. For those of you unfamiliar, the pair was a Discord group made up of these fan game developers that contained a lot of leaks for other fan games, and at points the members in the community suggested that they were going to leak these fan game leaks to the public. Obviously, as a fan game developer in the community, you're going to see stuff that's not meant for public consumption yet, and the people in the pair at times threatened, amongst themselves at least, to distribute early materials from fan games that weren't ready to be shown to the public. In addition, there were some, misogynistic, racist, and homophobic language that was used as well, and naturally, all three of them were canceled pretty hard. If you want to learn more about the pair and that whole controversy, check out this video I made shortly after it all went down. I don't think it's fair to put any of these three into a separate category. You know, they all sort of participated in the same thing. Wherever one ends up, the others ought to end up too. They certainly didn't do nothing wrong. You know, the language they used was not right, and all three developers in the pair insist that they never actually intended to leak any of the stuff that they had access to, and that may be true. They claim it was said in moments of anger and frustration, but when it leaks that you were, you know, threatening to potentially leak this stuff, it looks bad, obviously. So I would say that in light of the fact that they didn't actually leak anyone's materials, like if they actually leaked someone's fan game stuff early, that would be really dick. But because they didn't actually do that, everything sort of worked out in the end. I'm going to put them in canceled, but can recover with time. I reserve the right to change anyone as we go through. So next is Baddington. Baddington is the creator of the FNaF VHS remake series. He's remade a bunch of the episodes from Squimpus McGrimpus' series. I've made several videos about Baddington's content, so if you're unfamiliar with him, I highly recommend you check them out. They were canceled earlier this year after posting a tweet insinuating that Martin Walls, the creator of the Walton Files, had died. It turned out that Baddington and Martin were friends and that they hadn't been in touch lately. Martin had been busy and he hadn't been around, and so in tribute to Martin Walls, Baddington had released this video claiming that, you know, Martin Walls had died and, you know, to rest in peace. You know, it was like a joke because Martin hadn't been around in a while, and people saw it and obviously were horrified, thinking that Martin had actually died. And then when they found out Martin hadn't died, they were very upset. So I made a video about this. Of course, if you want more info, you could check it out. I think this one was super overblown. Martin himself never came out and said, hey, this really pissed me off, you know? People had a right to be upset, but Baddington had apologized very quickly and he took it down really quickly and he realized, guys, it was a mistake. And people really ripped into the guy really hard. And, you know, to me, it just felt like a lot of people had it out for Baddington and were looking for a reason to try to cancel him. And they saw an opportunity and took it because at the end of the day, it was a mistake and he screwed up and he took it down and he apologized. And people still give him shit for it to this day. And it's like, dude, it's not your place to get upset for Martin, you know, canceled but overblown. Oh boy, Nixon. Nixon is the creator of The Joy of Creation. The Joy of Creation is an incredible FNaF fan game. I did a video on story mode recently that I recommend you check out. It's really great. Unfortunately, Nixon, who's a member of the Fazbear Fanverse, made some incredibly transphobic comments, really nasty stuff. You know, it's one thing to have certain views and people are entitled to their views, of course, but Nixon told a trans person to their face that they weren't a woman. That's a very rude thing to say. It's unnecessary. It doesn't accomplish anything but make someone feel awful. And naturally, Nixon got a lot of serious criticism for that. So I'm going to call that one canceled hard, but not forever. And since then, Nixon did come out and apologize for the statement. Whether or not you felt the apology was sincere, or if you feel that he really has changed, is up to you. He at least went through the motions, and I appreciate that. That's not like, forever canceled worthy. People make mistakes. People hold bigoted beliefs, and they can change. If we're gonna forever cancel someone just because they have one bigoted belief, then, people are never gonna change, and it's just gonna become this big divide between people. We need to be accepting of people who want to be better than they were. Oh boy. Next is Jonachrome, another Fazbear Fanverse developer. In this case, Jonachrome was the developer of One Night at Flumpty's, and yeah, he was accused of grooming a minor. Someone came forward releasing information that Jonachrome had planned to start dating a minor after they turned 18, which sounds an awful lot like grooming, and the whole thing it was pretty bad. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds with this one. It's controversial. There's rumors that Jonachrome is planning to make a return to the community soon. It feels sort of wrong to put Jonachrome in the same level of Nixon. Like, Nixon said some rough things, but Jonachrome allegedly groomed someone, so we're gonna call that forever canceled. Oh, Jelly Liam. Okay, this is an interesting one for me because, Jelly Liam was canceled for doing an interview with me, basically. Aftonbuilt's demo had just released on GameJolt, and I reached out to the community manager, Notori Sky, and they communicated to Liam that I was interested in making an Aftonbuilt video, and Liam reached out to me, and we had a prolonged interview. After the interview, some people took exception to some of the things Liam said, and he got a lot of hate for that. By those metrics, I would argue Liam did nothing wrong. Liam had a right to speak. People got mad at Liam and claimed that he broke his NDA with Scott, but no, I'm sorry, you didn't see that NDA. It's no one's place to say that someone broke an NDA that they haven't seen. That doesn't make any sense. Furthermore, Liam was not sued by anyone. Scott never sued him, so the NDA was never broken. Liam did nothing wrong. He was entitled to speak with me. Obviously, there were no real consequences outside of these parasocial FNaF community ones. So, however, when my controversy happened, and don't worry, we'll get to my controversy. When my controversy happened, Liam opportunistically told a bunch of lies about me and deleted all but a couple of the messages in our conversation to make me look bad and paint a narrative that was just simply false. So that was super fucked up, and they shouldn't have done that. And they obviously threw me under the bus in an attempt to save some face, which is amusing because it didn't help at all. The people who hate Liam for speaking with me still hate him, and now me, someone who otherwise defends Liam for speaking to me, is not predisposed to think so highly of him. But in terms of what Liam was actually canceled for, speaking to me and doing an interview, no, they did nothing wrong. Lying about me and deleting messages and saying all that bullshit, yeah, that was fucked up. Okay. Kane Carter, developer of Popgoes, another Fazbear Fanverse developer. Gosh, that's the third Fazbear Fanverse developer so far. These guys just get canceled like crazy, apparently. So Kane recently sort of outed himself for having used the N-word regularly in conversation. He claimed he used it like over 22 times or something in his DMs with another Fazbear Fanverse developer, Fiznom. He claimed he never used the word with a hard R and only with an A, though later messages of his were revealed showing him using it with a hard R, so take that as you will. This one was especially stupid because no one asked. It's like people make mistakes and people say dumb things and nobody is perfect, of course, but Kane volunteered this information himself, which was just really stupid. I mean, maybe he was worried that there was evidence of it and that it was going to come out and he wanted to get ahead of it. I don't know, but it just seemed like, why even reveal it? There was this other thing about Mangle's gender too, but in light of the, racist stuff, I don't think it's really comparable. Furthermore, a lot of people took exception to the fact that Kane tried to justify his use of the N-word by saying he never said it with malice. He only ever said it like dude or man, but I think that was very tone deaf for a white English person to use the N-word and not understand why that's not okay. Even if you weren't saying it with malice, you're still using a word that white people use to belittle black people for a long, long time. And it's just not a white person's place to say that word. As one of the whitest people in the world, it's not my place, to say that, a black person can't say the word. But if I had my way, no one would use that word anymore and it would die completely. In light of the fact that Kane didn't direct his words at anyone like Nixon did, and in light of the fact that the pair also used slurs and misogynistic language and stuff, I think it's only fair that Kane goes in the same category as them. Canceled but can recover with time. Ooh, here we go. So as most of you guys probably know, Scott Cawthon was canceled for his numerous donations to a bunch of, frankly, pretty crappy politicians. Furthermore, Scott's response to the donations being revealed was pretty bad, and a lot of fans felt that Scott didn't properly acknowledge just how hurt a lot of fans were by these donations. That said, the dude made political donations. I think his big mistake was in his response. He needed to be more sensitive to the fact that it sucks to be put in a position where you love this franchise and you want to participate in it and buy the games and stuff like that. But by doing so, you're worried that the money you're spending is going towards supporting divisive political causes that you don't agree with. That sucks, and Scott really should have acknowledged that. So I'm gonna call this one canceled, but overblown. Okay, this is the Dormatabus guy, right? Oh, is that Nietzsche? Yeah. Allegedly, this guy sent nudes and gore to minors. I'm not sure, though. If that's true, forever canceled. Definitely. All right, The Baddest. The Baddest is a former associate of mine who's spoken very ill of me since my whole controversy, so I'm sort of apprehensive to say too much about this and give too much of my take, but to be fair, I'm going to go through it. The Baddest made the following tweet, which was considered Islamophobic by most people. The Baddest apologized rather quickly, but their apology read, "I'm sorry for what I tweeted earlier today. It didn't register to me how poorly worded it was and how essentially incorrect it was in certain ways. Many felt that the statement was blatantly Islamophobic, and to say that it was merely poorly worded and only essentially incorrect in certain ways was offensive. I would call that one canceled, but can recover with time." Okay, Dalen. Dalen had sexual messages leak between them and someone else. That's embarrassing, but I don't think it's, like, people do that. Like, it's okay. Like, if two consenting people do that, that's okay. And it's embarrassing, but, like, it doesn't seem like they did anything evil as far as I can tell. So I'm gonna call that one, canceled, but over. I want to say maybe they did nothing wrong, right? I don't know. We'll think about that one. All right, Team Radiance. Team Radiance is controversial, and they've done a bunch of things that are controversial, but, you know, I can't really point to a singular thing that I think is, like, you know, totally cancel worthy for them. And I would argue that they haven't even really been canceled. So I would just say overblown. All right, BFP, creator of TRTF, he claimed that he, like, dated his sister or something. Like, this person just said a bunch of bizarre things. They claimed they dated their sister and hooked up with her pretending she was his girlfriend. Like, I don't know. It was super weird. Canceled hard, dude. Canceled hard. Not forever, because it doesn't sound like they, like, did stuff on the level of, you know, forever canceled people, but, like, that's weird. What? Why? All right, Tanner Feline, creator of Original Location. Tanner Feline sort of canceled themselves. They're often called the fourth member of the pair because they were the fourth member of the pair. They were the one who sort of threw everyone else under the bus to save themselves, is the impression I got. Although it was the right thing to do to put a stop to that chat, so fair enough. That said, they sort of canceled themselves. I don't know. They could have just kept quiet and done nothing, but instead they decided to make this whole crazy post, and yeah, you can see it here. In that case, I'm just gonna say, it's like the other pair guys, I'm gonna say canceled, but can recover with time. Zyler Guy. Yeah. So Zyler Guy was canceled during the Kane drama for sending minor porn. Yeah, dude, that's gonna be forever canceled. You can't send minor. What's wrong with people? All right, the creator of Five Nights at Darl's allegedly groomed children. So I don't really know much about the controversy, but if that's true, then forever canceled. All right, here we are. We're up to me. So last July, popular YouTuber Sheep Rampage had released a video covering the troubled history of the ill-fated Fazbear Fanverse. Fazbear Fanverse developer Kane Carter subtweeted about Sheep Rampage's video, which in turn provoked his followers to begin to attack me. I reached out to Kane and asked him to ask his followers to leave me alone, but he didn't reply, so I made a response video demonstrating that all of my prior videos had always been incredibly fair to him and the other Fanverse developers. Afterwards, I hosted a live stream, and Kane sent a super chat that led me to believe he was looking to make amends and work things out. Unfortunately, it was actually a rickroll, and that greatly upset me and led me to saying, I'm not religious, but if there's a hell, that dude would burn for eternity. On a list full of alleged leakers, alleged child groomers, people who made racist comments, and people who allegedly sent inappropriate images to minors, and people who made Islamophobic statements, my own controversy clearly stands above the rest. For the heinous sin of telling someone who is actively provoking me to burn in hell, I, Theft King, deserve to die. I win. Thanks so much for watching. If you're on this list and this video upsets you, well, tough shit. I'm on the list too. Deal with it.